Today we're talking about characters. Here's a little bit of advice that I have if you want to make your GM's life a little bit better. And this mostly applies to more story-driven games. This can be in D&D, but it also more generally applies to other RPGs where there's a greater focus on story and character development and that kind of stuff. I would recommend, if you have not done this already, if this is not a common practice for you, play a character that cares. Play a character that cares deeply about the people and the world around them. Play a character with, I don't want to say strong morals necessarily, because, you don't have to be a good character necessarily. You don't have to be, the archetypal lawful good paladin. It's not what I'm suggesting. I'm not saying, play good characters. No. What I'm saying is play characters that have a vested emotional interest in the people and the events and the world that they are around. A lot of times what happens is, you want to play a cool character. Everyone wants to play a cool character, right? Play a cool character. Well, what's cool? Well, one interpretation of cool is this sort of detachment from the world around them. You're very aloof. You're very I don't really care. Oh, you're going to go do something dumb? Well, I'm just going to go let you do that, and I'm going to be over here, Sure, that's one way you can do a cool character that way, but let me tell you what the problem is. The problem comes when you try to write a story, when you're trying to, create tense moments for these characters. If you don't care, there's no tension, A character who's just a complete piece of shit and just, doesn't really bother with the sort of social norms that we would ascribe to a character like that. Your classical, selfish rogue. How are you going to build up tension? How are you going to start wrapping a story around that character? How are you going to get that character tied in to the overall plot? The more detached your character is, the less they care about the people and the world around them, the less interesting they are to the story. And as a GM, when I see someone create a character like that or play a character like that, I tend to sort of withdraw the story from them, because I don't want to force them. I don't want to it's basically impossible to get a character like that to be invested in the story without it becoming this sort of ham-fisted, I am making you care. Rah. I'm taking your family now, and then they're in danger, and now do you care? I don't want to do that. It's kind of railroady. It's kind of cliche, to be honest. Last one for the road. It's a lot easier if the player chooses to have their character care about the things that are going on. Innocent lives around them, be they civilians, bystanders. Oh shoot, I'm out. Damn. Or, the overall political climate. Maybe they care less about things and more about social norms, Is your character driven by honor? Do they have a very strict moral code? These sorts of things can sort of bind the character to the world and make it easier for the GM to sort of thread the plot through them. And now they are more tied to the story. Maybe that's not your maybe that's not your thing. That's what I'm getting at. Maybe that's, I'm not saying you have to do this, obviously. I'm not the boss of you. Why would you listen to me? What I'm saying is that if you want this experience, if your GM is the sort to sort of personalize the RPG campaign and make your characters central to the story, you're going to make their job a lot easier if you make your character someone who is someone who is passionate about something. Make them make friends very easily, give them attachments to either NPCs or the other PCs or, something like that. Characters who are aloof and very standoffish and very free to do whatever the player thinks is the most opportune thing at any given moment. They are practical for solving problems, and they can be really cool, but they don't really work that well when it comes to like writing a story for them or, incorporating a story for them into the campaign. So this video ends up being player advice. If you want to make your GM's life easier, if this is the kind of campaign that you're in and you're wondering like, why are other people getting these personalized stories and I'm not? Well, that might be why. Give your character, like, here's the thing, even if you're playing like a complete piece of shit, and I've had a few characters like that in my campaigns where like this guy's the worst. Fun and interesting character to watch, but like, like I wouldn't want to be around this guy, really. Even those characters, give them like a redeeming quality. Give them something that allows them to sort of relate to and sympathize with and empathize with in the world. And you might make it real subtle, or you might call it out explicitly. Maybe this is part of your, during character creation, you're gonna be like, this is my thing. This is, the thing that my character cares the most about. Maybe you do that. Or maybe you just don't even mention it. You just play it out. Give us something. And make sure that your GM knows, so that they can use that when they are creating the story. So that's my thing. Characters who are too aloof are actually less interesting than characters that care.